Did you know that one simple story can teach you hundreds of new English words? Today, we will help you learn English through an exciting adventure story. You will learn new vocabulary and practice your speaking skills. Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Shadow Lab. I am Lina, and I am so happy you are here today. I love teaching through stories because stories make learning fun. If you want to practice English with me every day, please subscribe to our channel now. We post new lessons every day, so never miss one. Okay, let us get started. Let us start with the story. The story we are learning today is called Treasure Island. It is a very famous adventure story about pirates, treasure, and a brave young boy. The story takes place a long time ago by the sea. There was a small, quiet place called the Admiral Benbow, a place where travelers could sleep and eat. A young boy named Jim Hawkins lived there with his parents. Life there was simple and peaceful. Only a few travelers stayed there, and nothing exciting ever happened. But one day, everything changed. An old sailor arrived and asked to stay. He was tall, strong, and looked very rough, like someone who had lived a hard life. He had a deep scar on his face, and he always looked nervous and afraid. Every morning, he walked to the top of a hill near the sea. He used a long tube called a telescope to look out at the water, watching for someone. He drank too much strong drink and sang old pirate songs that scared the other guests. His name was Billy Bones. Billy gave Jim a silver coin every month to keep an eye out, to watch carefully for a one-legged sailor. Jim did not understand why Billy was afraid, but he knew the old sailor was hiding from someone. Then one day, a blind man came and asked for Billy. His name was Pew, and he was even scarier than Billy. Pew gave Billy something called the black spot, a pirate sign of danger and death. Billy went very pale and looked very scared. A few minutes later, he fell down and died. His heart simply stopped from fear. After Billy died, Jim and his mother opened his small box to find the money he owed them. They found coins from many countries, but they also found something much more important inside that box. It was a treasure map, a map showing the hiding place of the famous pirate Captain Flint's gold. Jim quickly took the map to Dr. Ligsy, a kind and clever doctor. He also showed it to a rich man named Trelawney, who owned a lot of land. The three of them made a plan to sail across the sea and find the treasure. And so their great adventure began. They got a strong and beautiful ship called the Hispaniola. They also found a captain named Captain Smollett. He was very strict. He followed all the rules and wanted everyone to do the same, but he was also fair and honest. Jim joined the ship as a young helper, and he felt very proud. He had never been on a ship before, and he was so happy and excited. One of the men working on the ship was Long John Silver. He was hired as the ship's cook. Long John had only one leg and used a wooden stick to help him walk, but he moved quickly and always had a big smile on his face. He was smart, friendly, and full of funny sea stories. He even had a green parrot on his shoulder that kept saying, "Pieces of 8, pieces of 8." At first, everyone on the ship liked Silver very much, but soon Jim found out a terrible secret. One day, Jim was hiding inside a large wooden box on the ship, sitting very still and quiet. While he was hiding, he heard Silver talking to some of the other men. Jim found out that Silver and many of the men on the ship were actually pirates. They had a plan: wait until the treasure was found, then take control of the ship and keep everything. Jim felt very scared, but he stayed quiet and listened carefully. Later, he told Captain Smollett and the other good men what he had heard. Now they knew the truth. Many of the men on the ship were dangerous, and they had to be very careful. After many days sailing, the ship finally arrived at Treasure Island. The island was green, wild, and very quiet. There were trees, hills, rocks, and secret caves everywhere. It looked calm, but Jim and his friends knew danger could be hiding all around them. Some of the men went to the island right away. Jim went with them, but soon he walked off alone into the forest. While he was walking, he met a very strange man named Ben Gunn. Ben had been a pirate before, but the other pirates had left him alone on the island. He had lived there for 3 years, eating only berries and small animals. Ben was a bit strange, but also kind and friendly. He told Jim a big secret. He had already found Captain Flint's gold and put it in a safe cave. Ben said he would help Jim and the others, but only if they promised to take him home. While this was happening, things got worse back on the ship. Long John Silver and the other pirates took control of the Hispaniola. They also asked for the treasure map by force. But Captain Smollett, Dr. Lively, Trelawney, and the other good men moved into an old wooden house to stay safe. Then the fight between the two groups began. The pirates attacked the wooden house with guns and swords, but the good men were strong, smart, and brave. They kept the house safe and did not give up. Then Jim did something very brave. He found a small round boat and used it to quietly sail back to the Hispaniola. He fought a dangerous pirate, and he won. He moved the ship to a safe place far from the pirates. Later, Jim went back to the wooden house and told his friends what he had done. Together, they kept fighting against the pirates. Silver tried to act friendly again and changed sides to stay safe, but Jim and the others did not trust him anymore. At last, the pirates used the map and went to the place where they thought the gold was buried. They dug and dug, but they found nothing at all. The gold was gone. They had been tricked because Ben Gunn had already moved it to his cave. Some pirates gave up. Others ran into the forest and were never seen, and some were too weak to keep fighting. In the end, the good men had won. They were tired, but they were safe, and now they finally knew where the real treasure was hidden. They found gold, silver, beautiful shiny stones, and coins from many different parts of the world. It was more than they had ever thought was possible. It was so much that they had to carry it to the ship in many trips. A few pirates were left behind on the island. Long John Silver was still with the group. He helped them sometimes, but he also lied and tricked them many times. Then one night, while everyone was sleeping, Silver quietly walked away. He took one small bag of gold with him and was never seen again. The ship sailed back to England, and Jim and his friends were safe. Now they were also rich, but Jim felt different inside. He had seen danger, greed, wanting too much, and death. He had learned about being brave, being a good friend, and being honest. He was no longer a young boy. He had truly grown up. Now, let's look at some important words from the story. These words will help you speak and understand English better. Let's go through them one by one. The first phrase is by the sea, next to the ocean, near the water. For example, they built a small house by the sea. The next word is in, a small place where travelers can sleep and eat, like a small hotel. For example, we stayed at a little inn during our trip. The next word is rough. When someone looks rough, they look tough and wild, not clean or neat. For example, the old sailor looked rough with messy hair and dirty clothes. The next word is scar, a mark that stays on the skin after a cut gets better. For example, she has a small scar on her hand from when she fell. The next word is nervous. You feel worried inside, afraid that something bad might happen. For example, I feel nervous before I speak in front of many people. The next phrase is keep an eye out. Watch carefully and stay alert. For example, please keep an eye out for trouble on the road. If you are finding this helpful, please subscribe to English Shadow Lab. There are thousands of learners here growing with us every single day. Just hit subscribe. It only takes 1 second, and let us keep going. The next word is pale. Skin looks very white, often from fear or sickness. For example, She went very pale when she heard the bad news. The next word is collapse, to fall down suddenly because of fear, pain, or being very tired. For example, after running a long way, he fell down on the floor. The next phrase is his heart gave out. The heart stopped working, often from a big shock. For example, he was so scared that his heart simply gave out. The next word is adventure, an exciting trip or experience, sometimes a little dangerous. For example, going up that mountain was a big adventure. The next word is voyage, a long trip by ship across the sea. For example, the voyage took many long weeks. The next word is strict. A strict person follows rules exactly and wants everyone else to do the same. For example, our teacher is very strict but also fair. The next phrase is take over, to take control of something, sometimes by force. For example, the pirates tried to take over the ship. The last phrase is walked off, to leave a place quietly without saying anything. For example, he did not answer, he just walked off into the dark. Let us review what we talked about today. First, we listened to the story of Treasure Island. It's about a young boy named Jim Hawkins who lives near the sea. An old sailor brings a treasure map, and Jim and his friends sail to find the gold. Second, we learned about the people in the story. Jim is brave and curious, Captain Smollett is strict but honest, and Long John Silver looks friendly but is secretly a dangerous pirate. Ben Gunn had been left alone on the island and had already found the gold before Jim arrived. Third, we went through important words from the story. We learned words like rough, scar, nervous, pale, collapse, voyage, and adventure, plus phrases like keep an eye out, right away, and walked off. Thank you so much for being here with me today at English Shadow Lab. You did a wonderful job listening and practicing. I want you to listen to this episode again and again because every time you do, your English gets stronger. That's how you grow, not by studying once, but by practicing many times. Here's your challenge. Try to say the story of Treasure Island in your own words in English, even just a few sentences. You can do it in the mirror, with a friend, or quietly to yourself. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to happen. Please subscribe to English Shadow Lab, like this video, tap the bell icon, and share it with a friend learning English. Your support helps this channel grow every day. Here's a question for the comments. Which person in Treasure Island did you like the most, and why? I love reading your answers. Please write something below. You are part of a wonderful group of learners here at English Shadow Lab. Thousands of people just like you are watching and getting better every day. When you see others writing in English in the comments, it helps you want to keep going too. So stay active, stay curious, and never stop practicing. I'll see you in the next lesson. Keep going, you are doing so well.